Welcome back. Thank you for joining Talvon Talks, where today we will be featuring temporary jobs. Temporary jobs. When to know how to stop, how to change one's mentality to stop doing temporary jobs. Those temporary jobs that are sometimes dangerous environment or just getting wrapped up into those things in a long term to where you are deterring and damaging your body in the long run. So those temporary jobs are the porn industry, exotic dancing, strippers, and just to reiterate, we will be featuring exotic dancing, strippers, modeling, and the porn industry. And we are shedding light on the pros and the cons. So let's just start out with the light, I guess, going into more of the, a little bit of the dark. And also we'll go from longest or shortest to longest because I know what I really want to shed light on. And modeling can be a temporary job that does burn you out, can get the best of you. Let's highlight the pros and the cons. So what are the pros? What are the cons? The cons is being torn down, being degraded just to become the next well-known name. And even the pros being, okay, family environment, maybe a team or a people that does uplift you in a positive way to get you to the next level. But the majority of the modeling industry, it tears you down. It tears you down as a whole in the long run, you know, while you're continuing to work on yourself and those issues that they make bigger than what it is. However, you know, you have to just be careful what you sign up for. I'm a firm believer in this is what you sign up for, and it's the same thing. Like, you know, if you're working at McDonald's and you're complaining about your job, you're complaining about your situation, change it. That's the only thing you can do. Don't take it out on the customers. Don't take it out on your workers, on your employers, and in even your employer. You know what I mean? So you just have to know what you're signing up for, and the things that are going to come with this lifestyle, with this new decision that you decided to join in on. Okay, so just to continue a little bit, we'll go into the next topic of strippers. What society calls them, known also as exotic dancing. Is there a lane for it? Is there a demand for it? Do you see this still being one's reality within the next 5 to 10 years? Or do you think that there will be all virtually cams to where, you know, women can and or men can exploit their bodies on a level to where it's just behind a camera? Will that make things safer? Because the cons being that you know, exotic dancing can be dangerous when you get involved with the background scenes of what the artist is doing. And like I said, I don't like to be offensive. Whatever people feel about this topic is them. How my opinions are coming across, I'm shedding light on the pros and the cons, and in a light to where, yes, if you feel as though this is your transitioning point or a temporary job that you have had for a while and you feel as though that it's time for you to do other things, then that is totally up to you and your decision, and I applaud it and I stand by it 110%. However, if you feel as though that this is what you do, this is what you're good at, feel free to keep doing it, allowing, you know, you to make money. Hopefully, you know, you're doing the right things, maybe saving up, maybe towards a goal. I would love to say, because there is certain people that are exotic dancing single parents, providing an income for their sons, their daughters, their family. There are also, just to bring it all in on a total aspect, there's things that people do on the surface that looks like okay, or to society frowned down upon because of what it looks like from the outside looking in. Now on the another, for the pros and stuff like that, is also, it always looks like glam and glitz on the outside, and then when you get on the inside, you figure it out and you find out the true aspects of those things. And it's kind of funny because these things that I'm featuring is all of the three things that I wanted to do. I always wanted to strip. I always wanted to be an exotic dancer. I think it was the dancing aspect for me, and then me being free with my body also. I don't mind being, nudity is not a problem for me, especially at my own home. Of course, now, that I am choosing and deciding to transition my life into a totally different place. I am, no longer doing certain things, and I wouldn't do certain things, or even be caught in certain environments or areas. But even with that said, I still, am very, very comfortable with my body. That's also probably, another reason why I may have struggled in other areas in the past, because I was always free and comfortable with my body, and I didn't mind if somebody else smacked me on my ass or something like that. It's just like, okay, well, whatever. I didn't have that where somebody says no, or don't do that. That definitely didn't exist in my world or whatever like that. So it was almost as people knew that they can see that free spiritedness in you or whatever like that, or they could tell people that are comfortable, or that just pretty much don't care or whatever like that. So you just have to depict or whatever like that when enough is enough on your end and stuff like that, and how you want to go back and deal with and manage those things. So even to continue with the industry of exotic dancing, you have the drugs, and then you have the men and even the women and stuff like that. And on even of course on the spectrum of exotic dancing and stripping, you more likely think about a woman than a man. There is male strippers and stuff like that that cater to women and that cater to men and stuff like that as well. But I feel like, and this is not being sexist, this is just, of course, still shedding light on the facts. I feel like when men do it, they're doing it for a reason, and if they're not doing it for a reason, they know why they're doing it as far as they like it. Same thing, I mean, I'm not saying that a woman does not know what she's doing, but it does seem like it's more of a peer pressure thing, or certain sexes get pigeonholed into the industry like women, and that's all I just wanted to pretty much pinpoint, is that pretty much it seems like it's more peer pressure, or hey girl, try to do this, or won't you try to do this, or like that, and then next thing you know, you're enjoying it and you're liking it and you're making money, and then you become into a point to where you're not liking it anymore, but you're still there. So these are the people that I'm talking to, people that there's a change that has perspired in your mind, but you have not followed through with that mentality. And it's like, why? Do you feel like you're not good enough? Do you feel like that someone may have seen you on the streets? Do you feel like, all those doubtful things that go into one's mind to alleviate the decision or the momentum and the drive to stop doing those things. And like I said, this is all coming from a place of love and experience, from when you are ready to make a clear, conscious decision on ceasing to do anything, and you can't. It's hard to do it. You feel stuck, you feel jaded, you feel all these emotions and stuff like that, and then it's like you have to come to a turning point or a transition, or something that bad happens to you, in order for you to remove you out of that situation. Because after one sign and two signs and three signs, and after that there's going to be a brick wall that you run into. And trust me, I know from experience. So I am just preventing people and attempting to avoid those people from coming into that brick wall, and instead, stopping at the brick wall, looking at it, which is yourself in the mirror, and then making a decision to break down that wall before you hit it. And y'all know that I'm on my channel that I use a lot of analogies. So it's pretty much catching or stopping the train before it hits you. That's all it is. So I used to be in the porn industry, and we're transitioning topics now, and it was nothing but sickness and drugs involved and stuff like that. And of course it was the glitz and glam from the outside, when in all actuality, some people are literally getting raped, and it's consensual because you signed a piece of paper and you still have to go through it, or you're still going through those mental strains, those mental issues, that traumatic experience. There's all type of women that are abused on camera. There's men that are abused on camera and stuff like that. And whether you know or not, you'll never know, because it's just a visual. In your mind, it's a visual, it's a fantasy, it's something that they're placing out to look on the outside, on the surface, as if this is okay, and this is what the individual signed up for. However, when there's money involved, or there's different things involved, or even somebody says, you're going to do this regardless, you don't have a choice or whatever like that, unless you just decide to stop, break, leave, run out. And then of course, that's not going to be shown to the public. But there's a lot of things that go on in the background scenes in the porn industry that is killing people emotionally and mentally, and damaging their body physically. So I remember I was in the porn industry, and I was with a very, very well-known CEO and porn industry, company or whatever, that porn company, and they are still, they still exist to this day. The CEO still exists to this day. He is doing some different things, but he's still very, very interactive. I remember when I was in the porn industry, I was already positive. I was already HIV positive. So there was no condoms involved. So you can only imagine. And of course, there's a lot of, I'll break it down. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll break it down. There's a lot of details and descriptive stuff behind what goes on. So if I am a person that have sex with the same sex, and I am a bottom, which means I am being penetrated, not penetrating, then most likely, if the bottom is HIV positive, they will pair you with a top that is, and of course that's the person that is penetrating. They will place you with a top that is either negative or either positive. That way, even if you're positive, it doesn't matter in their mind, because y'all have the same thing, and it doesn't matter. Which it does matter, because if you have sex with someone else that is HIV positive and they have a different strand than you, then yes, that strand can affect you or whatever like that to increase it could fuck you up pretty much. Like, literally it could increase the strand of yours and make yours more aggressive, to the point to where maybe is damaging your body more, or maybe if you were in a more stable position or whatever like that, pretty much, it's just, like I said, it increases your strain. We're just going to leave it at that, or whatever like that. It's not good to be, just like if I was to, here comes an analogy, an example, whatever like that. Even if I was to be reinfected or come into contact with a disease that I already had before, I mean, common sense is going to be more aggressive than it was before, So I just wanted to clear that up and stuff like that, and just make it concrete or whatever like that. So to continue, with the top being negative, it's harder for a bottom that's positive to pass on HIV or whatever like that to a top, because they are the ones penetrating and not being penetrated. Now, of course, it'll be, a little bit more natural if someone was positive, and then of course they're penetrating somebody that's negative, and then you are easily able to contract HIV that way. So even with all of this being said, it's like, I know somebody is probably frowning up their face like, okay, all of that still sounds crazy and oxymoronic. That's because it is. You're still taking a risk. You're still having unprotected sex with people outside, and this is off camera in your personal life, whether it's with condoms or without condoms. It's really retarded or whatever like that. And then you're gonna come on camera and stuff like that, and then still engage in sexual activities, not using a condom like that, with strangers and with random people that you just met and stuff like that. Which, yeah, a lot of that type of stuff I was already doing in my personal life like that, but I'm not gonna wrap it up in the streets or whatever like that, and then sit up there and come on camera and then have unprotected sex or whatever like that, because most of the times when you're having sex in a porn industry, the whole fantasy is raw. That's the thing, and has always been the thing like that. I want it raw, Even in people's personal life, they don't wear condoms, whether you're married, whether you're not married, or that people don't like to wear condoms because they want to feel it, So that's why there's all type of condoms with thin and this and that or whatever like that, and extra feeling and more protection and ridges, and there's all type of different things out there because people want to feel, what it actually feels like and stuff like that. The most way without actually not having it on. But in the industry, they don't. Most times they don't have condoms on. Now you'll see some with condoms on or whatever like that, and most people just think that automatically if they see a condom, then that person is either positive or whatever like that, or either the person that they're having sex with is positive. That's not entirely true. However, you might have a person that really wants to protect themselves, and they that's what they decided to do. However, there is certain signs, if you see something like that, you kind of know, what to look for and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm just shedding light on the industry and people that are wanting to come out and don't know how to make that change. And I'm also shedding light on the industry because I was once a part of it, and I know how I felt when I was there. And I told my CEO the reason why I got out is because I told him that I had contracted syphilis, and so I didn't want to do the shoot because I didn't want to infect anyone else, or I didn't want to, be an issue in that area. And he literally, told me that like pretty much you know better or whatever like that. Like I almost got reprimanded for a job that I was doing, but it was like oxymoronic. So it was just like, so you want me to not have sex at all, or wrap it up in the streets, and then when I come on cam or whatever like that, be prepared and ready like that to be having unprotected sex or like that, or having sex raw and stuff like that. I'm like, that don't make sense or whatever like that. Like, you think that those people are not having sex or wrapping it up on the outside, so it really doesn't matter. Even if I'm having sex with them or having it by myself in my own personal life, I'm still going to run into something or contract something or like that, or be exposed or risking my life or like that, or risking, certain things just to do this job or whatever like that, that's glitz and glam on the outside, but truly when I'm on the inside or dealing with it or managing it or going through these venues and these places and stuff like that, and these hotel rooms and stuff like that, like, it's not legal. It's really still, it's really on the surface prostitution, in the sense and stuff like that. It's just the way that they word it, and then the way that they disclaim everything or whatever like that, or even the discretion is what makes it, legal. But there's all type of organizations and stuff like that that has been shut down and stuff like that due to sexual acts and stuff like that. Like, that is very serious when you get into a service of sexual acts and stuff like that with people, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen once that person gets there. You don't know whether they're going to be raped. You don't know whether they're going to be having their virginity taken for the first time. There's just all type of scenarios that you would never believe that people would do or want to do and stuff like that. Some people actually want to lose their virginity and they don't know who to go to or how to do it and stuff like that, or they just want to have sex with somebody random or like that just to, it sounds crazy, because that's because it is, literally. I have just, like, even the stuff that I've been through and going through, and then just life experiences like that, people would literally think that it's either a joke or it didn't happen or whatever like that, and it's crazy or whatever like that. Just the stuff that the people that you run across and everything like that. So you just have to be mindful. You really have to be mindful and careful who you deal with, who's in your circle and stuff like that. And you could just be regular and going about your regular life and day one day, and the next thing you know, you find yourself in a crazy predicament or situation. So if this is you, I urge you, I challenge you to do things different, because it's really not a life it's not a life that you can live or do for a long period of time. Literally, I was in the porn industry. I can, like, literally not even long. I did a solo by myself, for people that know what that is, just you by yourself, you in the room or whatever like that, and exploiting your body on camera, doing different things and stuff like that. And then I did a second shoot with someone else or whatever like that, where it was me and another guy and stuff like that on film. And it's crazy because, like I said, these three things I've always been curious to: be in the porn industry or like that, do porn or like that. I actually like seeing myself on film, on camera. So I'm doing it in a totally different way now, becoming a public figure, which everyone is a public figure anyway when you look at it and stuff like that. If you're in the public eye, you're a public figure. If you go to school, you're a public figure. If you're in front of the camera, you're a public figure. If you're on TV, you're a public figure. You just have to realize the public figure that you're going to be and how you're going to present yourself. So I don't mind being a public figure and being in the public eye. And, I definitely have always been the center of attention, voluntarily and involuntarily. So it really doesn't matter to me. I'm here to inspire, educate, and empower, and that's what I like to do. That's what I love to do. That's my niche. So that's what I do well, and I'm going to continue to do it. So I just encourage you to do things on a different perspective. If there is a job that you are doing that is not the norm, I challenge you to do things differently. Even in the modeling industry, I always wanted to model. I've always had opportunities to model, and then different things perspired and stuff like that. But even in the modeling industry, it's so much mess in the background scenes. You have to try to sleep your way to the top, and even in the music industry like that, is so much junk and stuff like that, and so much things that you have to alleviate and maneuver around, and certain sexes are exposed to this more than others. Women are subjected to certain things in all type of industries. Men are subjected to certain things in all type of industries, and it really becomes, it really becomes intriguing and interesting, and also what's the word I'm looking for? It's unbelievable is really the word, because it's just like, why should these people be going through these things and stuff like that? That's why when we talk about different things like racism and Black Lives Matter like that, that's not the only thing that is that matters right now, and that's not the only issue that we're dealing with in America. So I try not to give pity or give power to certain things that is going to take longer to be turned around or transitioned than others. But that's how I truly feel, and to each his own and stuff like that. So you just have to be careful who you center yourself around, and if you ever need any advice or any encouragement, definitely feel free to reach out. This is highlighting industries and knowing when to make a change, knowing when to transition. Is this your time? Have you become tired? Have you become weak? Have you become stressed out? Is this your breaking point? I don't know. That's up to you to figure out. But I'm here to definitely bring you through your next chapter in your life. I'm ready. Are you? You can do it. Thank you so much for watching Talvon Talks, featuring porn industries, modeling, and industries that temporary jobs, knowing when to stop, knowing when to quit. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.